Morning, y'all give a round of applause.
Morning.
Good morning. She came in here saying she is ready for Super Bowl all this week. Well, you got some other big stuff happening, but you are, of course, I guess with all the Super Bowl stuff happening in the city, there's no way to not talk about the Super Bowl. Are you at least into all the stuff that's going on?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, like I told you, I wanted you to ask me that question.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to ask you the question.
Yeah, you have to ask me the question because I listen.
Earlier in the show, we was talking about strippers coming to the city. Some of them said that they could possibly make as much as six figures, basically. $100,000 easy this course of the week. And I'm like, would you be interested? I don't even feel right asking you. Would you want to get on a pole during this week and make a six figure? See, a lot of fans of Pimp C, they would be offended by that question. So it's hard to ask you that question just because the fan base.
Well, they have to understand.
Understand that the Pimp C though. You know.
Understand? I listen to the show.
Okay.
And I'm on my way riding, and I'm like 100 G's. She made 120.
120.
She really made 120. See,
120 is strong. One woman said during the All-Star, didn't you say, JQ, one girl told you she coming back out to work this weekend
retirement
because she had during the All-Star she made $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she made.
True talk.
Yeah,
that's what she made.
And
we ain't even talking about her.
Yeah,
so she coming back in the game after a 5-year hiatus. She's a businesswoman doing her thing. She coming back just for this weekend because she know how lucrative it could be.
She about to sting a lick if she gonna make 50,000. My opinion is I would get me some strippers. I'm not gonna strip, but I get some that's willing to. Everybody willing to do a little something, for some change. That ain't change either.
That would be called pimping.
No, that is called management. That is slash management. I mean, again, you ask, a lot of people say yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have the resources to get to a lot of artists, right?
Right.
What's the problem?
So for you, it'd be what would be your percentage point?
Oh, of course, a good management get 20. I'm not gonna rob them. I'm not gonna rob. Like, I'm not a thief. 20%, like, that's standard. That's standard.
We have girls calling up here right now.
That's standard. Tell them to hit me. Tell them I got an email in my inbox. They can hit that.
Stop it. I know you're not serious.
Oh, yes,
maybe
I am.
She is.
Yes, I am. Okay.
All right, well, look, during this week, you also have some big stuff going on, too, in the name of Pimp C. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we'll be doing Rice will be archiving a lot of Chad belongings, and they'll be studying them, which I think is a big honor. Just
like in classroom setting and all the whole.
It's going to be part of their archive. They're actually facilitating a lot of things. Like when people write raps and stuff, that paper disintegrates. So they're actually helping me preserve his legacy.
Wow.
Yes.
How long have y'all been working on this?
Oh my God, for some years now, maybe about 5 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
5 years or more. We just been collecting a lot of producers like Mike Mo, a bunch of artists, a bunch of different artists that Chad might have rented in the studio, wrote some rhymes that you probably would recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And we archive a lot of belongings at my house that I thought would be
How
cool.
hard was it for you to give that stuff up? Because, I mean, to other people, he's this icon who's a rapper. For you, it's your husband.
Well, I'm kind of used to...
And you're parting ways with personal items that belong to others. Like I said, incredible rapper, icon there. To you, belongings of your husband. So it's a different thing.
It is hard, but I know they're going to preserve them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm accustomed, as anybody that's involved with the artist, you're kind of accustomed to sharing them with the world.
Okay.
So why not? I have a lot of fans. A lot of fans send artwork. They help me keep his legacy alive. So why not give them something as well?
After all these years, how hard is it for you to still continue to do all this? Like I said, this is your husband that's passed away, and you're reminded every single day of your life that you miss Butler. Not a day, I'm sure, goes by where you're not reminded of your husband's legacy and what he meant to other people. So you never, to me, it's kind of like when Fat Joe was in, he said every time he went somewhere, he was reminded about Pun. Every time you go somewhere, somebody's telling you a story about Pimp C, how the music has affected their life, etc., etc., etc. So how do you deal with it? It seems to me like you never got arrested.
No, you know what? I said that too. I said I don't think it was in the cards for me to have like a morning stage.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was robbed from that, but that's the cards I was dealt with. So, I mean, everybody had their own cross to bear, just like you said. I mean, I'm more than sure that hurts too with Fat Joe. Like, it's our loved ones. It's his brother.
Right,
that was
exactly.
my husband.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, you just got to roll with the punches. And it actually gave me therapy, talking to certain people and just knowing that his life meant so much. And I think that's what all of us want, to leave a legacy.
True.
So it's a gift and a curse.
Is there ever a time where you get the opportunity to get away from everything? Was there ever a moment when you actually had a real mournful period, or you immediately had to jump into a businesswoman mode and take care of the legacy of your husband?
Well, I never talked about this. It's a good question. When Chad first passed, I was actually in California with him right before he did the House of Blues show. And I flew back and I was waiting for him. And nothing, I didn't get a phone call. So I called the hotel and was like, hey, check, what's going on with my husband. And there was the nightmare starting.
Oh, I never
Yes,
knew.
I was the
never knew
person.
that. I never knew that. I'm sorry.
I wanted, because I'm like, did he order food? So I'm listening to, if you ever listen to the 911 call, they'll say.
Never listened to it.
Well, yeah. Well, I had to. Somebody sent it to me, but I was like, wow, she taped me? Like, you were taping what I was saying? So, again, all this bring up
I didn't know that.
emotions.
So you called 911?
I called the hotel, and I'm
did
like.
we run this? I don't remember. I don't think we ever ran it.
Well, I haven't talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I called the hotel because, again, he doesn't miss probate. He's not going to miss seeing the people. You got to see the people. So, what's going on? And I called the hotel, like, hey, did he order food? Like, when the last time he ordered food? Because what we just finished, everybody loved food. So, I'm like, okay, we ordered at 3 or 4, and no one's been, because you send somebody up there to check on my husband, and she put me on hold. And then Rick, Chad's manager, hit me after that, and I could tell from his voice something was wrong. And 12 hours, I left my husband 12 hours, and he passed within that 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
And I had to jump on the plane. Bun brought me to the airport, and I had to identify him. And from there,
wow.
I flew back from California to Texas to pick up my daughter and explain to her about her father. And then that same day, I had to fly to New York to negotiate a deal with Jive. There's no morning, there's no stage.
All this happened in the same, 24 to 48 hour period?
I negotiated a UGK deal before we buried Chad.
What?
At the end of the day, man, out of this my thing, I still was in shock. Like,
Yeah, what are
Is
you
this a-
operating on?
I'm operating on when I wake up, this gonna be a dream. But if it's not, these people are not about to take it easy on me because I'm coming in crying. Do you really think a label is gonna care if I come in crying?
Man.
No. I had to put my business suit on, my boss suit on, and had a meeting with Barry Wise, Jeff Sledge,
man,
Peter Thea,
I'll give
and
you
Memphis
guys.
was in there. Memphis was in there too. Memphis hit, and I looked at everybody. They didn't care. Like, no one really cares. You really think people care? This is a business. And if I didn't get that then, I felt like if I cry now, I am going to be crying a long time. And I'm also going to be crying on how Chad legacy, how I just sat back and watched.
Everybody do whatever they wanted to do.
And that's not in me.
So how was it too? Because you had to deal with Chad's legacy on so many different fronts, and everybody's coming out the woodwork saying that Pimp owes him this and Pimp's supposed to do that. So all of a sudden they coming at you to get whatever is owed.
I got hit with a lawsuit from 1992 from their first manager, and I'm like, I don't know what everybody else was doing, but I was in high school, and the kids weren't even born, and I just went to court. I just went to court last year behind that too.
Wow.
I'm like, even the reporter from Beaumont Enterprise, he said, I looked up your court papers. You were sued for a 1992 lawsuit. Yeah, so from lawsuits, from everybody want the music. Everybody still is like 10 years later.
They still want Pimp's music.
People are upset about me doing a free event, even
so what
this
happened
event.
to the estate? What was that?
The
I saw
estate is basically what I did, again, to make sure that I thought I was protecting myself. And again, I didn't have to set up a estate because there was no will. Like, I chose to do that to show people where everything was going. And what I did was, knowing the music business, your biggest money is your publishing, right or wrong.
Okay.
So I negotiated a publishing deal with Bug Winswift. They had the most money. I directed the money to go directly to the heirs, not the estate, just to the heirs.
Wow.
So I don't get how I could be accused of doing.
Taking somebody's money or something like that. Why'd you do that? Because if
I
you're the
wanted to
wife,
be
usually
clean
when you're
cut.
the wife, you
I
get
am.
everything regardless.
I am the wife and I have a daughter. Me and him
Right.
have a daughter,
Yeah.
so I own majority of the estate.
Right.
I mean, it's no way of
getting around that.
getting right around that.
That's
So when
right.
your daughter get the money? I'm just curious.
When did she get the money? What do you
Oh,
mean?
how it works? I mean, I don't
Okay,
know.
you have to get it's a publishing. Well,
Okay.
we'll be on air for another 30 minutes and I'll explain publishing. That's a whole
So you get a check like
publishing.
every 6 or 7
No,
months?
you have to turn in certain. You have certain contracts, certain things are certain ways. You turn in a project, you get an advance.
Oh.
It's stipulations to you doing that. You know, if it's since I'm signed, I was signed to a major publishing. Bug Winswift sold to Sony BMG. So in return, now we have a publishing with Sony BMG.
Wow.
You have to put out the project under a major label. Which, if you've seen what we did from the get-go, we had the Rap Lot and the other projects. Those aren't major labels. I can't do anything about that. Those were things that Chad already kind of had put in place. I just tried to make the situation better.
Okay.
That's all. I fought a lawsuit. That was $5 million from 1992. He went away. That was all my money.
Wow.
All my money. All my money went into even starting the estate, which I didn't have to as well.
Damn.
So like me
I don't even
going
got no
through,
more que- I'm
yeah, like
amazed at that.
like
That's
it's
crazy.
it's my if people actually just read my paperwork, it would confuse.
So are you angry with? I understand that this is your husband, but that is such. There's a lot.
I told
there's
you about
there's
being bitter. I told you about. I
That's
told
off
you
the
no.
air. That ain't for nobody
Okay,
else.
but I'm just saying.
I understand.
You can't.
But you understand. That's you walked into. All you wanted to do was marry the man you wanted to marry.
And
it just
just-
so
yeah,
happens
and just
that your
assist.
man was this entertainer and he was beloved by all these people. But now, with him not being here, you've now he is. I don't want to.
And then
the
you know,
situation
understand
thrust you-
Chad speaks. He spoke his mind like me. So I think a lot of times, a lot of people are mad at him and kind of take it out on me to a certain extent. Certain people.
wow.
Yeah, there's so many angles to look at this.
So you don't never get bitter because you've been left with this big plate of.
No, because I married into it. Married into the game. Like
Man.
I signed up for it, unbeknownst.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like it's a lot of things in this business I've done did not want to fulfill. I've talked to you about certain
Yes,
projects
yes.
and certain other things, but if I give my word and I'm going to do something,
You gonna do
I'm
it.
going to do it. It might not come out the best, but I put in my best into getting it done.
Is it ever draining for you? Is it ever
Oh,
tiring?
yes.
Okay, I'm just.
Oh, yes. But you know what? Again, when you ask me about the fans and releasing stuff, they give me CPR. Talking to certain people give me like, yes, I'm back.
I remember why I'm doing this,
Exactly.
and it's much. I mean, it literally is much bigger than you because here, like you
It's
said,
what-
it's been a long time, and this person is still remembered as if he just made a record yesterday.
A decade.
Is that ever crazy to you? This person is still remembered. That's how the impact of the individual is. That especially around here.
And then I question myself, like, how long am I going to actually be in this position? Like, I you know, that's another thing. Because, again, I think a lot of times when people kind of take jabs at me, for me, it make me go harder.
Right.
And I don't want to get in a situation where I'm just reacting and going harder because somebody else pushing me.
So what does this mean for? I mean, I know you said you set up all these things for the heirs of the kids. Has there ever been a moment where everybody was able to have come together with understanding?
Everything was at an understanding to, like, I dropped the project with Mass Appeal, which, again, when people ask me, I have no clue where I've reached out, even though, again, people say I didn't reach out. I'm not like that. Y'all all know in this building, I will call. I don't have no problem talking to anybody.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No,
So,
you don't.
actually, reaching out on a kid, I love kids. Again, that's why I still look at them, even though little Chad, he's he's an adult, but he's still going to be a child,
I get it.
you know
get
you know what I mean. So, and I understand, just like he asked about publishing, that it actually take you, like, you can need to go to school to understand just publishing. Am I lying? Like, publishing goes over so many
I
people's
love
heads.
the publishing game. Though.
I love it too. It rules
that's where
the
you
world.
want to be. That's where you want to
It
be if you're in the
rules
music
the
business.
world.
The publishing game, the people who write the music and make the music.
So he figures he is owed a little bit more money. So that's what you're trying to say.
Well, my
Well,
thing
everybody will always
is
feel like that.
everybody feel like that. And again, when you ask me, you remember you asked me a couple of interviews, like, who helps you?
Yeah.
And again, I'm here by
That's
myself. It's me. So a lot of people, nobody wants to put in that work. And that's even with upcoming artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with pushing, my pimp initiative. I'm going to push people into their purpose. And you got to work or you're not going to be able to keep up with me because real talk, like I've told artists, if I meet you at the studio, you better find a new career. I actually do nursing. I'm a single mom. I have a sick mom. I done been through, like, my dad passed during me even doing the Rap-A-Lot project. My grandpa passed right before that. I have a real life outside and a real career. If you follow me on Instagram, my patient is 102. She wear a Pimp C sweater and everything. If you follow, it's very entertaining. But again, I do multiple things, and people gotta really want to put in that work. And people it's like that microwave. They want to just
that's
jump
the new
in
way.
and pop. Well, I mean, it's not gonna work.
And they expect you to be able to make that happen for them because of your connection and all the people that you know. So.
But think about it. These people just don't open their doors to talk to people. I have to build real relationships. And then when you look at the big picture, like people that have issue with me, imagine if you took me out out of this situation, what would really be happening right now?